Hello.
Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera to everyone. My name is Shafiq and my username is SQC NTW. On behalf of SQC Ipoh, I would like to warmly welcome all of you to our virtual training session today in conjunction with National Training Week 2025. We are truly honored to have each and every one of you joining us online today for the training titled Scheduled Waste Management. Thank you for making your time to be part of this meaningful learning journey with SQC Management Ipoh. Here, allow me to introduce our dedicated and experienced trainer for today's training, namely Ms. E. Since everyone has joined the Zoom meeting, I would like to share a few quick housekeeping reminders to all participants before we proceed. First of all, kindly rename yourself using your full name for attendance purpose. Hence, please keep your mic muted throughout the session unless you are invited to speak or have any inquiries. You may use the chat box to share your thoughts, ask questions, or engage with the trainer. To remind you, before the training begins, we will have a group photo together. So kindly turn on your camera for a quick group photo session later. You may prepare yourself now. And if you face any technical issue, please raise your concern in the chat box and we will assist you. For your acknowledgement, here are the important information that you might overlook or notice as per highlighted in the email. Please note that after the training complete, e-certificates of attendance will be generated and issued directly by NTW and not by SQC. The training notes won't be provided as well. We truly encourage you to take your own notes during the training. Before we kick off the training session, I would like to have everyone's attention for a quick but exciting reminder as well. After the break, we will be having a Kahoot quiz session, so do stay with us. We have grand prizes waiting for our top 3 winners, which are, for the third prize, RM50 e-voucher, for second prize, RM100 e-voucher, and the first prize, RM150 e-voucher. For your information, this e-voucher can be used to join any upcoming training organized by SQC EPO and ESL Human Capital only. And please bear in mind that the voucher is valid until 31st December 2025. So please make sure you participate and give it your best shot. When entering your Kahoot name, please use your real name followed by last 4 digits of your phone number. For example, Aina1234. This will help us track and contact the winner more efficiently. For those who will win the prize, which are among the top 3, please contact our SQC NTW co-host after the Kahoot session, and don't forget to provide your Kahoot name and your full name, phone number, and email address. All the best, everyone. Without further ado, shall we take a quick photo together? Everyone, please turn on your camera. Okay. 1. Yeah. Thank you so much for your participation. We will start our training now. Thank you.
Right, a very good afternoon to all. How are y'all doing today?
Fine, thanks.
That's nice. Hi, Miss Patricia, you're joining us
Thank
again.
you.
Okay,
Hi.
that's nice. Okay, so basically, I think like Mr. Shafiq has already introduced the whole Zoom account, how to use it and all. Those who are not familiar, you can either turn off your camera or you can turn it on, no problem. So the thing is, we will have in between, we have poll quizzes. We'll also have Kahoot quiz, which will be done after the break. So like he said, you all will have your 3 vouchers if you all are in the top 3. Okay, so meaning to say, if you have poll quizzes, the questions will pop on your screen. Okay, dia akan muncul dekat atas you punya telefon ke atau you punya laptop. So you can actually just click on the answer. So we'll just give it a try, all right? So the question will be, how are you all feeling today? Can you all see it on your screen?
Yes.
Can? All right, you can just click on any of your answers. Oh, there's an answer, meh. Oh, why are you feeling meh? You should be feeling great. It's already midday. After lunch, on top of that, you're supposed to get some energy. Okay. All right. So there's another 17 more participants who are waiting for the answers. There's 69 of you all. Okay. Another 10 more seconds. Any more answers? The person feeling me, do you want to change your answer? So maybe feeling a little bit good. All right. Okay. We'll end the poll right now. Thank you so much. So without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Ish. I'll be your trainer for today. We actually had a training early in the morning as well, from 9 to 12 earlier. So I think I do see some familiar names popping on my screen again. So my name is Ish and I'll be your trainer. And today's one, like I said, is effective schedule waste management. So this is actually not to talk about your competency or anything. It's just more of those small SME, small industries that haven't really established schedule waste management yet. So this is more for you all. But those who want to stay and enjoy the session also can, no problem. Okay, so I'll start sharing my screen right now. Hope you all can start seeing. Are you all able to see the screen? Can?
Yes.
Can. All right, perfect. Okay. Okay, we will start. All right. So, like I said, today's training will be the effective schedule waste management. So we have 5 sections or 5 contents that we'll be talking about today. So we'll be discussing what exactly schedule waste is, because some people are a bit still in the dark lines what exactly schedule waste is, and then the issues arising if there's an improper handling of schedule waste or mishandle or misstacking, okay, or disposal, improper disposal. And number 3, understanding the EQA, Environmental Quality Act, Schedule Waste 2005, and then the effective handling and storage. So we'll be just touching on the surface level, all right? We won't be going too detail, but a bit of on the schedule, on the surface. And lastly will be the PPE and the emergency response plan. Okay. So any idea what exactly is schedule waste? What do you all think as participants or, has end users or consumers? What do you think schedule waste is? By the way, there's no right or wrong. You all can actually shout out your answer or can type it if you're too shy. No worries. No answers? Why so silent, all of y'all? It's okay. I don't bite people, guys. Okay, yes, waste that is, yes, hazardous waste. One, jadwal penyelenggaraan bahan buangan. Okay, penyelenggaraan is maintenance, right? Yes. Dangerous. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, any more answers? No more? Okay, never mind. So before getting into schedule waste, let's just understand. Yeah. All right, let's just understand the definition of waste. Okay, so under our EQA, all right, in 1974, the definition of waste talks about includes any matter prescribed to be scheduled waste or any other waste, whether it's solid, semi-solid, liquid form, or in the form of gas or vapor that is emitted, all right, that is emitted, discharged, or disposed in environmental in such a volume, composition, or manner as to cause pollution. Okay, meaning to say, is just very brief. Okay, the word waste itself is just very brief. It just says that it can be either solid form or semi-liquid or either a semi-solid, right? That can cause pollution. Let's get into general waste pula. What's the difference of general waste dengan schedule waste? So general waste is anything that is residual. So dekat kita punya rumah, domestic waste is considered residual waste. Okay, whether it's in the household or businesses that cannot be recycled back. Okay, meaning to say kita punya food waste, okay, the plastic wrappers that kita buang dekat rumah, after makan plastic, the food from the plastic, then after that we just throw it away. Those are unrecyclable. So that's why it's considered residual waste. Okay, so now we go into the definition of schedule waste. Okay, what does it mean? Any waste falling within the categories of list of the waste listed in the EQA under the first schedule. So, nak tanya dekat semua orang, how many of you all actually dah pernah baca dia punya legal? Pernah baca dia punya regulation? Have you all seen the regulation? Have you all gone through what is first schedule, what is second schedule, third schedule? Proper schedule we have? Yes? Okay, that's good. So what's the first schedule? Have you all seen the first schedule? It has how many schedule wastes inside there? Okay, jika hari ni tak boleh tidur malam-malam, pergilah tengok you punya legal, kira satu persatu. How many waste in total? Oh, okay. Thank you, Miss Sahida, Mr. or Miss Sahida Ali. 77 code. Correct, you're right. Yeah, there's 5 groups. Very true. Wow, all of you are like experts already. You already know how many codes we have. That's interesting. Okay, I don't think you'll need to stay for class then you all can actually leave. No lah, no lah. Okay. Tak pernah buat. Tak pernah buat. Okay, Miss Umaima. Oh, tak pernah means tak pernah calculate berapa ke? Okay, tak apa. But okay, you punya kawan-kawan yang lain sudah bagi tahu dah berapa quotes ada. So we have 77 and 5 groups. Very good. Those are actually questions for the polls later, but all of y'all answered already. So that's a bonus for y'all, okay? All right. So, where the source of schedule waste can happen? Punca atau dia punya asal usul, where can you get sources of schedule waste? Production can from your manufacturing, any processes that you do. Waste treatment, okay, wastewater treatment plant, betul, you ada banyak schedule waste from there. Laboratory testing, okay, if you kerja dekat lab ke makmal ke, okay, and maintenance activity. Okay, they can be more from here as well. Clinical also pun boleh, betul. You have injections and all those and dia punya injection, this thing and all, the jab and all those things are sources of schedule waste. All right. How many of y'all know your characteristics of your schedule waste? Pernah ambil tahu ke atau tak? Pernah ambil tahu or I don't know what is it about.
Pernah ambil tahu.
Pernah ambil tahu. Because kenapa? Disaman oleh DOE ke atau you had to know what exactly the characteristics are?
Because I'm handle this job.
Oh, you handle this one. Okay,
Yeah.
Miss Patricia. Understood. Understood. Are you a competent person yourself?
I'm not competent person.
Oh, you're not. Okay, but you understand lah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very proud of you. Okay, so there are different types of characteristics. Kenapa kita kena ambil tahu? Okay, the characteristics is very important because kita nak differentiate kita punya schedule is one thing, dia punya segregation, okay, dia punya storage, okay, and then dia punya label. Okay, this is why it's very important. And lastly, kita kena buat something called waste card. Okay, I don't know how many of y'all have hit waste card before. That's also very important. You will need to know the characteristic. Boleh? So, an example, if you want to know characteristic of a chemical that we use, before kita guna pakai, kita refer dekat SDS, betul? Kita ada safety data sheet, right?
Yes.
Dekat safety data sheet, kita akan tahu characteristics of the particular chemical. But this one terbalik pula. Even though kita nak buang kita punya schedule waste, we want to buang that particular waste, we need to know the characteristics as well. But the characteristics will change after using it. Meaning to say, prior to you opening up the bucket or opening up the bottle of the chemical, it was still pure, betul? Lepas you dah tuang, you dah oxidize it, you already reacted with the environment and everything, and then ada sedikit lagi and you kena buang sebagai schedule waste. And we don't know the characteristics. So the question to everyone in front of me, macam mana kita nak identify characteristic tersebut? Any answers? Yes, correct. Encik Muhammad Hafiz, you sent to the lab for analysis. Okay. So I think currently DOE has requested a lot of companies to send their particular schedule waste to the lab, correct, to get the waste characteristics. Am I right?
Yes.
Analysis characteristics, the VAC you call it, betul?
Betul.
How many of y'all submitted already for tahun ini? Sudah? Atau belum lagi? Sangat mahal.
Belum
Betul?
lagi.
So damn expensive. I didn't expect. Oh, which lab can do? Okay, so Miss Nurul and Miss Nur Alina, to reply to that, if I'm not mistaken, there's a list of accredited DOE labs that you can send to. I'm not very sure if they have published it on their website, but prior to that, I remember being sent a letter and they have few labs. The problem in Ipoh, I don't think we have a lab that is accredited. I might be wrong right now, I'm not sure, but you can either call them for a list or either you can call each lab and see if they're accredited or not. Okay. Yes, I agree. It's very expensive. I know one analysis is coming up to 1K back then. I don't know about it right now. Okay. So far, are you all with me? Kenna? All right. So we have characteristics such as the ignitable. That's one thing. The criteria is combustible, flammable, and sustained combustion, meaning to say ignite, it cepat sangat boleh membakar atau terbakar. Okay, and you can see the flash point is less than 60. Okay, and capable under standard temperature and pressure of causing fire through friction. Okay, ignitable compressed gas, that's one thing, and oxidized. Okay, so there are a few examples of schedule waste that kami sudah identify. It can be different because we have over 77 different schedule waste codes yang kita ada. So these are few examples that recently people are actually using even at the industries. So like adhesive atau glue SW303, 322 waste of non-halogenated organic solvents, 325 unsecured resin waste, 416 sludge of ink paints, okay, SW417 sludge paints atau dia punya waste paint atau ink ke lacquer or dye, SW432 which are contaminated with peroxide. So these are the few examples we have identified that it cepat sangat boleh terbakar, okay. So have you all seen the word corrosive as well? Mudah terhakis.
Yes.
Yes, benar, mudah terhakis. Okay, so mostly like acid. Okay, even you letak dekat, even the bekas of the acid pun boleh terhakis. Imagine if it's terkena kita punya tangan or kita punya kulit. Okay, so corrosive is actually the criteria acidic where the pH is less than 2 or if it's 12.5. So it can be acidic or either very strong alkaline or base. Okay, and corrode still at the rate of 6.35. So that's why sometimes when we have to send certain of our chemicals or our certain schedule waste to the lab, they might have to do additional tests. Like you see this, they have to corrode steel, then you have to measure the steel and all. So that's why it's a bit complicated and maybe that's why it's damn expensive. Okay, so a few examples, and this will be SW206, spent inorganic acids, 201 spent organic acid, which is with a pH less than 2, or 401 spent alkali containing heavy metals, or SW402 spent alkali more than pH 11.5. All right, so these are just a few examples. Maybe different companies, different rating of their schedule waste code as well. Okay, because sometimes you might use different acid concentration, hence why your characteristics will differ. Okay. Oh, oh yes, Miss Ragini. I think you asked the question confused between 417 and 418. Okay, so the one can we do that later? We can share the screen and then we can ask the class what's different 417 and 418, Kat. But you can start shooting your questions, no problem. Okay. All right, very good questions, Miss Akila. If we dispose product like medical product, do we have the SDS? Do we need to conduct a lab test? Okay, the thing is the SDS is actually your benchmark. Your benchmark meaning to say prior or before you actually start opening your chemical or your medical product. The thing is after opening the medical product, does it change whether the shape has changed or the characteristic have changed? We're not very sure. But the thing is like like a solid product, then I don't think you really need to send for testing. Maybe you can actually derive and make your own Schedule 7, because there's actually a template for Schedule 7 if you see waste cut. All right, under Schedule 7 dia ada dia punya how do I say it, like a template given, so you can just fill up because you don't have a flashpoint for it unless you really do burn that particular product and see what's the flashpoint until it starts melting. So that's my take on it. All right, any more questions?
Miss Isha,
Yes, yes.
I want to ask, let's say I get the safety data sheet
Correct,
from the supplier.
correct.
The supplier told me that is the latest revision, but the
Okay.
revision is already in year 2017 or 18. But he say that is the latest version, and my
I
auditor said sure he will got the latest version, but they didn't give. So how?
Okay, so this one is actually more of asking them to prove why haven't they got the latest revision, because the supplier also gets it from a manufacturer, am I right? Maybe you can send an email, a black and white email to your supplier and ask them if you say this is your latest revision, please write it in black and white saying this is also your latest revision, not from the manufacturer. Because I know during audits, they like to put the blame on us saying that why didn't we source for the latest revision? So
Yeah.
best put the blame on the supplier back, so
Yeah.
that you say that we have done our part and we have already asked the supplier to give us the latest revision, which is valid for 5 years.
So need the black and white from the supplier.
It's
Okay.
better, yeah, it's better that way. It saves yourself as well.
Okay.
Okay. No worries. Thank you. Uh, uh, okay, yes. So we continue with the reactivity part. Okay, so reactivity is any reaction that can take place. Okay, waste is normally unstable or readily undergoes violent changes without detonating. Okay, if the waste reacts violently with water, actually, I think the word is violent, not violent changes. My bad. I think there's a spelling error here. Not violent. Okay, there's no color involved. Okay, and then if the waste from potentially explodes mixture with water, so this is a label called dangerous with wet. I think some of y'all have seen your labels. It's blue in color. It's written that dangerous when wet. Okay, it might change its form from maybe from solid, it might change to water. I mean liquid, or from liquid can vaporize and become a gas. So those are dangerous or reaction chemicals. Okay, if the waste when mixed with either generated toxic gases, vapor or fume, it can cause dangers to human health. So the problem is when solid particles, okay, solid particles react with oxygen, it changes its form, and that's when it starts reacting as vapor. And we as humans do not cover our nose or cover our respiratory system, it might affect us in our health in generally. Another problem is if you want to know if there's a gas leak or something, we can smell something pungent. Pungent means bau yang like apa or busu, something like that. So from far we know there's a reactivity happening or some reaction happening in the air. Okay, capable to cause detonation or explosion. Okay, readily capable to cause detonation or explosive decomposition or reaction. Okay, at a standard temperature and pressure. Okay, so example of 317, which is organic metallic compounds. Okay, these are all your chemical, organic chemical chemistry that we have learned. And SW431, such as manufacturing or processes used for explosive. Okay, toxicity. Okay, toxic. Okay, most of us know toxic is the tengkorak punya shape, betul? Okay, so waste hazard by virtue of the toxicity characteristic exceeds more than a specific concentration on a metal or an organic compound. Okay, so one example is the arsenic and its compound. Okay, and then next one will be SW104. Okay, where it has all these slag, dross, ash containing aluminium, arsenic, all this particular thing that you can actually find from the steel or iron industry or factory. Okay, SW109 talks about the waste containing mercury, sludges. Okay, kita punya waste water treatment plant punya sludges, all those. And lastly is SW318 that contains substances that are contaminated. Okay, infections. Okay, this is more on your clinical handling at the hospitals, dekat clinical, anywhere that can spread through biohazard. Okay, infectious or pathogenic. Okay, as we know, like discarded drugs such as SW408, or even expired drugs as well. Okay, and then SW404 pathogenic waste macam kita punya sometimes expired blood also. Okay, kita punya whatever we remove from our body like appendix and all those, anything waste from our internally our body. And SW405 waste arising from preparation and production of a pharmaceutical, maybe discard atau expired juga. Okay, so before that, I mean, before we go to section 2, and we all go to the poll quizzes. Can?
Okay.
All right. Can you all see? Can, right? All right, so you all answered already. Okay, so what is schedule waste? Very good. Most of y'all, I think, answered it right. Waste listed under the EQA Schedule Waste Regulation 2005. Okay, good job. All right, let's start with whole quiz 2, all right? Oh, okay. All right, let's go with number 2. Okay, so this one I haven't gone in yet, but those who actually know, let's see if y'all actually remember this. All right. Oh, we're still waiting for another 30 something more people to answer because you're like 84 of y'all in the class. Pretty huge class actually. Okay, 10 more seconds. Also, the chat box right down there, I think you'll a lot of overwhelming messages coming in. If y'all can actually reply to one another, it'll be good. I think one of the questions I just saw, do other countries actually have schedule waste? Yes, they do. It's just that they call it differently. I think some of your colleagues, I mean your classmates are actually replying saying that yes, they call it hazardous waste. I think it depends because in Malaysia they call it schedule waste. I think because it's 180 days kami simpan atau not more than 20 metric tons kita akan simpan. All right. Okay, so the answer is 180 days. Okay, everyone? Boleh? And I think to reply to just now earlier the question, detonate, I think. Yeah, detonating meaning anything that explodes. Sorry, yeah, because too many questions here and we will have to go up and down. All right, and it's violent changes, not violent. I think there was a typo there. All right. Okay. Can see the screen, everyone?
Yes.
Can. All right. So some issues have already arose, actually, has already rose up during or before this, prior to us actually even despite having schedule waste regulation. Okay, so there have been few issues such as toxic dumping. Okay, and then you have residents take they have viewed illegal dumping sites. Okay, this was all prior to when the 2005 regulation actually was established. This was in March 1995. Okay, some of us maybe not even born yet. So there were 41 drums of potassium cyanide from a Penang chemical firm was found dumped at Pangkor Island. And it's so sad because Pangkor Island is actually one of our tourism spots right now. So imagine if we did not contain it back then, we would have lost Pangkor Island already. And in June 2004, you see 12,000 a ton of toxic waste from Taiwan was found in the brick making factory in Johor. Okay, so it became a dumping site. And then this was after, even despite having regulation 2005 schedule waste, in January 2006, ammonia leaked 300 tons of aluminium waste illegally dumped in Labis, Johor. Okay, so now we know which state is a bit polluted, huh? And this is our latest, consider one of the latest, how do I say, environmental incursion that has happened, and it has caused a big loss. I would say even till now, the effect is very bad. So many students are still having stomach ache, miscarriages for the women, those kind of things that can happen in Pasir Gudang 2019. Okay, so Kim explains why after that, I think DOE in Johor became very vigorous. They started doing a lot of spot checks. You know, you can hear a lot of summons coming from that state. Okay. And this is pretty recent. This was during our MCO time. Okay, I think many of you all can remember in 2020, Malaysia water cuts at least 4 days before supply that can be restored to 1.2 million consumers, says Ais Selangor. So meaning to say, imagine 1.2 million, that's literally the whole of Selangor, I would consider. Okay, we're very blessed in Perak because the Baga air Perak is actually very good. And I think we have a lot of dams in Perak. Explains why we don't really have water rationing. But I think these two states so far in Malaysia, one is Selangor, another one is Penang. Very often they have water rationing. Okay, that's one all right. So this is sad in a way. So the reason why we want to contain schedule waste and like make sure have proper schedule waste management is so that we don't affect not just us, but our future generation. Okay, so this was back then where pelupusan haram buangan aluminium dross. So dross, as you can see just now earlier, 104, SW104, should be actually disposed in the right manner, not just terbiar macam ini atau dump macam ini saja. Okay, these are some international incidents, not just Malaysia actually, that we have to contain because we're all in one country, one world. So this was in Minamata incident happened in Japan, where this particular chemical has been discharged, and people used to consume what they call it, seafood, and because seafood is a food chain, right? And it caused a lot of paralyzed and sensory loss among the babies that were born in that particular year. Okay, and I think some of you all also know about Love Canal. Okay, this was in 1940s to 1950s. Okay, a chemical also used to be dumped there, and people started experiencing chemical-induced health problem. Okay, and as you know, if you see how do I say the history that happened, this particular 1970s up to 1980s, 1980s or towards 1990s, a lot of incidents of chemical took place in the world. Another one more, maybe some of you all will know Chernobyl that happened as well. After Chernobyl was Bhopal incident in 1984. Those are all, how do I say, mishandled or no, in a way, it's also schedule waste also because if they never take care properly, it would have caused much more disaster, a bigger disaster. Okay, so that's why kami we ask kenapa kena jaga kita punya schedule waste or buat penyelenggaran jadual terbuang, okay, pembuangan berjadual. The first thing is to prevent pollution. Second is to minimize negative impact to health and the environment. So it's both health and environment to comply with legal requirements. So in Malaysia, kita tak boleh lari dah since it's in 2005. Dah lama actually dah established. It's just that awareness yang tak cukup, maybe atau funding also may be a problem. Okay, these might be some of the contributing factors. And yang lastly, able to handle emergency situation in a systematic approach. So we try to avoid emergency situation at least contain dalam kita punya premise atau kita punya boundary. Okay, so the impact of schedule waste, as you can see, the source, environmental impact, and then health impact. Okay, so it's like a cycle, all right? So if you have emission, acid rain can be involved, air pollution, water pollution, groundwater pollution, landfill pollution, all those. Okay, impact of improper schedule waste management, okay? So the impact to the environment, air pollution, such as dioxin from incinerators or anything that can contribute pollution, hydrochlorofluorocarbon, HCF, this has been banned in Malaysia as well. Water pollution, where can cause water pollution, global warming, as you know, some of you all who joined my earlier morning class, you all were aware, I discussed a bit of the ISO new requirement talking about climate change. So if you have aspect impact, it's not just climate change affecting you, it's also kita sebagai industrial players pun affecting climate change. Because it takes two way, it cannot be, kita tepuk tangan dengan satu saja. It has to be two tangan to tepuk, right? So it's not just the climate change is the one affecting, we are also contributing to climate change as well. So global warming is part of it, and then soil contamination. And if you're talking about human health, what exactly can happen? So acute or chronic effect, depending types of nature or pollutants. Some of us might have respiratory problem. Okay, you might get cancer from it. You might have heart diseases or any miscarriages. Okay. All right. Okay. Understanding the EQA 1974, okay, 2005, okay. I think some of us are already born here, okay. So how many of y'all actually know the legislation hierarchy? Are y'all aware of this? How do you know act itu lagi besar daripada regulasi ke, atau guideline much more bigger than an act, or which one do you think is bigger than what? Or which is the mother of all? Act paling besar, okay, betul. Alright. Okay, that's all. Only 1%. The rest don't know. Okay, so normally how I explain to my participants, mostly I will say act is actually like the mother. Okay, the ibu. Alright, here ibu, and then bawah ibu dia ada banyak anak-anak. Alright, so the first level anak will be regulation, meaning to say the firstborn. Okay, so below the act will be the regulation, and below the regulation can be either the guidelines or can it be ICOP if it's safety and health, it can be standards or anything. And lastly will be your SOPs internally or work instruction that you have. So meaning to say, act and regulation, that first two, ibu dengan anak, jika you tak comply, you can get saman. Not can get saman, will get saman. Okay, if you found guilty, definitely akan dapat saman. All right. And circulars or standards, if you don't follow your internal standards or your SOP atau your work instruction, dekat internally, kita pakai NCR lah, non-conformity report atau CAR, corrective action request. So these are the few things that you all should take into consideration. Okay, so do you all know kita punya Environmental Quality Act 1974 dah ada banyak amendment sampai sekarang atau tak tahu lagi?
Tak tahu lagi.
Tak tahu lagi. Oh, okay, alright. Okay, I don't know whether sad to say or good news to say. Kita dah ada amendment yang baru. Okay, they changed it last year in 2024. And DOE is actually very vigorous, you know, they are very like, oh, yes, go and attack people today. Hari ni kita nak pergi serbu company ini, company yang sana. So they have been actually quite vigorous, and so far there have been a lot of summons coming out. So again, if hari ni tak boleh tidur atau esok pagi you want to go late to work, you scroll to your DOE punya Facebook page, you akan dapat tahu banyak summon has been given out. Okay, with the latest amendment in 2024. Oh, okay. Oh, summon tertinggi berapa tu? Okay, kita akan tahu nanti. Okay, alright. Okay, amendment in 2012 yang berlaku. So before this in 1974, okay, they already this was just macam toko tambah lah yang dilakukan atau dibuat during the year 2012. Okay, so in section 2 they said competent person, meaning to say a person who is competent conduct activities as specified in section 49A. So section 49A and 49B talks about competent person. Apa itu competent person? Dia punya tanggungjawab apa? So meaning to say an owner or an occupier of a premise shall employ a person who has been certified by DG meaning to say Director General, as a competent person to conduct all or any of the following activities. So you have been dapat pangkat lah. Okay, ada bintang sini, ada bintang sini untuk buat certain things in your company. Okay, dapat extra allowance pun, I don't know, that depends on your company. Okay, so operation of equipment, so control of equipment, this is more on like back filters, scrubbers. Pernah dengar back filter, scrubber? Pernah ke tak pernah? Anything? Yes, pernah. All right, okay. And then we have management of schedule waste. So now we're talking about number 3. Can you see management of schedule waste? So the person who is competent will pretty much have to manage the schedule waste. Okay, that's your duty. Okay, and then conduct of studies. This one, in case you now further up your master's or your PhD, you can actually collect data for your company and maybe do analysis, and then maybe submit to your top management and submit to DOE and see which one works. Okay, and lastly, preparation and submission of report, plans, proposal, engineering drawings, or other documents related to environmental matters. So this is where you might also have to assist your environmental officers, okay, environmental auditors in certain criteria lah, that they need you to be there or present. Okay, so they had a general amendment as well in 2012. Okay, a general amendment where it stated that the qualified personnel to be changed or qualified to be changed to qualified person. So they had personnel and instead of person. Okay, that was the first thing that they changed. And then qualified person is a personnel that is to maintain or to conduct environmental audit, environment impact assessment, or submit a report thereon. Okay, to submit the report is to the DG or to the DOE, all right? Jeng. So this I think is the most important one that if you all who are not aware, I think you should be aware right now. Okay. Environmental Quality Amendment Act in 2024. Okay. All right. How many of you all know that the enforcement date was last year, 7 July 2024?
Yes.
You all are aware? Okay. So this is the new amendment that happened. Okay. So I'll get back to you all on what are the amendments that have happened. As you can see, paragraph number 2, in 2024, the 7th Amendment gives priority to amendment punishment, fines, penalties involving fines ranging from 5,000 up to 10 million. So I think one of the questions asked earlier, paling tinggi berapa ya saman? Okay, so sebelum ini 1 juta, before the amendment in 2024, sekarang dah 10 juta. Okay, and imprisonment, including if you have both fine together, not exceeding 5 years.
Cikgu.
Yes, cikgu. Okay, call me Miss Ish, no worries. Yes.
Is it necessary to buy the latest version of EQA?
I think you can
Hope-
download it online now, I think. Yeah.
Can download from
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Okay. All right, so this is what happens. Okay. Yeah, 10 million, 5,000 to 10 million. So up to you all. If you boleh gertak you punya top management if they don't want to agree with anything environmental, you can say it. Or if you don't want to, 10 million is coming out from your pocket, or you will be dragged to the jail for 5 years. Take 2. Okay, so this is one example. So amaran Jabatan Alam Sekitar telah mengeluarkan kuasa nilai compound tidak melebihi 50% daripada nilai denda maksimum kesalahan. Okay, these are all settings 7 July last year. Okay, so this is, as you can see, an overall overview. Okay, then the minimum is 5,000. Okay, and penjara mandatory is not more than 5. Okay, if kesalahan for what pencemaran air, gagal mengumpulkan laporan EIA, and then ingkar perintah larangan, pelupusan haram buangan terjadual. Can you see the word number 4? Pelupusan haram buangan terjadual. Okay, then the maximum it's not more than 10 million, and nilai compound, okay, dinaikkan daripada 2,000 kepada tidak melebihi 50% daripada nilai denda maksimum. Okay, so this is where your maximum fine for 10,000 comes in. Okay, so earlier during my effect impact training, I did show a bit of sections. Okay, so section 25 talks about melakukan dan menyebabkan pencemaran air. So if you cause any water pollution, the maximum fine on the spot can be 10 million. Okay, if it's section 29 talks about if pelepasan buangan ke perairan Malaysia, so in case if you dump or you throw it or you discharge it, same 10 million as well. And section 27 melepaskan minyak ke perairan Malaysia as well, 10 million. And section 34B, melakukan pelepasan haram buangan terjadual. So if you illegally dump anything anywhere, and if they trace back it's from your company or from your organization, get ready to derma 10 million. Can?
Okay, can.
Okay, all right. Okay, so this is tidak melebihi 5 years. Okay, similar also 25, section 25, section 34A, section 31A, section 34AA. Can everyone? And section 34B as well, pelupasan haram buangan terjadual. And lastly, larangan melakukan pembuangan terjadual. Okay, you're not supposed to do open burning. Can see?
Can.
Okay, and this is your maximum denda can tidak melebihi 25,000 or tidak melebihi 1 juta atau penjara tidak melebihi 5 tahun. Okay, so if your maximum fine if you do open burning is 1 million. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know how to solve yang orang tua suka membakar. Maybe kita kena pergi educate mereka lah. No. How do I say it? Because mereka pun, never been exposed. Maybe kita boleh tell them, it's not fair and not good for the environment. So yeah. Sorry, Miss Amira, you said it's not limited to industry only like this larangan. Okay, so the problem with how do I say it's a bit contradictory if you ask me. Kita punya Malaysian law, okay, pretty sad. I feel like they should start actually looking into residential punya law as well, because if you see all scheduled wastes, they're only for industrial players. Why? Maybe because back then in 1974 or 2005, they thought, oh, maybe industrial player akan menghasilkan lebih banyak. But if you see right now, kita ada more houses as residential. Imagine how much of scheduled waste we contribute from households. One example is kita punya, like back then, kita used to use our fluorescent lights, back then. And even sekarang, everybody uses iPads, iPhones, phone batteries and everything. Those are e-waste. So I think about time for the government to actually start coming up with all this new regulation, even for us as householders. If they don't want to put a new regulation, it's fine, but maybe provide such recycling centers more often so that we can go and dump it instead of throwing it in our domestic waste. Okay. Okay, so the chronology event, macam mana tiba-tiba muncul schedule waste management dekat Malaysia, okay? So as you can see, environmental quality, the first schedule waste regulation came out in 1989. That's a long time ago. So this, as you can see, it was prior to when Bhopal incident happened. Like after Bhopal incident happened in 1984, that was when Malaysia said that, okay, it's about time to actually start looking into schedule waste. Lepas tu, it came into force in 1989. And then after that, it was upgraded, okay, to schedule waste regulation in 2005. And then they had a small amendment in 2007, but they still call it regulation 2005. Okay, that was the year when it was gazetted lah in the parliament. Okay. All right, so the environmental quality, schedule waste regulation 2005. Okay, when was it dimunculkan? Macam saya kata, it was gazetted on the 15th of August 2005, replacing the schedule waste regulation in 1989. So they actually scraped out the 1989, then they had to put it back, like they munculkan balik with the 2005 punya. And this is where the definition is stated, like we said earlier, anything falling in the category listed in first schedule in our schedule waste regulation 2005. Okay. So before that, do we want to again do a bit of a poll quiz? Can we?
Okay.
Can, perfect. Okay. Before me entering into our regulation, how many of y'all know what e-Swiss is? Yep, 2.0. Yes, correct. The e-Swiss is now 2.0 already. I think 1.0 has failed us. Okay. Another 10 more seconds. Ten. All right, let's see. Yes, e-Swiss is a waste tracking system for scheduled waste. How many of y'all actually have used it before? How many of y'all have used it before? Okay, do you find it to be user-friendly? No, right? I agree. I would also state as no because it's never been user-friendly. Oh, the version 1, yes, version 2.0 is not. Okay, that's nice. Interesting. Has DOE ever actually came up with the latest how do I say the latest guideline? Have they like like if you have anything to submit to DOE or DOSH or any of the portals, they actually have like steps by step. How many of you all know that? Because I've never seen version 2.0 yet. I've seen version 1.0. Oh yes, got guideline, but it's still not user friendly. Okay, need more money to invest because of need to do testing. Oh, you mean you have to do your lab test, is it? You have to submit your results inside. Oh, okay, understood. Yes, lab test. Got it, got it. Okay. Yeah, I hear it's a bit fussy because anything na apa tu code you nak register pun you need to submit your lab test first baru you boleh register the code. Yes, you need to submit your waste card as well. Yes, I'm aware of that. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, yes, Mr. Zulkafa, I'm aware that, one test is around 1,500. Yes, it's expensive, it's not cheap. Understood. Okay, so it's not easy. Has somebody of y'all actually has given feedback to DOE regarding the version 2.0? I know. I understand, Mr. Gulagafa. I understand. It's not cheap, I agree. And the worst part, if your schedule is liquid form, then you will have to send for lab test. Yeah. Because if it's solid, then it still can somehow use the SDS and just, make your own flashpoint ke apa ke. But if you're talking about chemical, macam SW417, waste ink, waste pigment, you will need to go through analysis because kita campur-campur kan. So, okay. Oops. Okay. Okay. So we will continue back, Ken? Or do you think we should take like 5 minutes break and we continue at 3 o'clock, boleh? Can everybody?
Can?
Can, okay. We will start back again at 3 o'clock, boleh?
Boleh?
Yes, 5 minutes break, please. Yes, yes. Okay, no worries, no worries. Encik Hafiz can. Okay. You can go for a toilet break. Thank you very much. See you all at
Thank
3.
you. Okay.
Thanks. Okay, all of you are back. 5 minutes break was good. Much needed. Okay. Can now we start back? Boleh?
Boleh?
Boleh. Perfect. Okay, so now we will briefly touch the regulation part, okay, of under the Schedule Waste 2005. Talks about Regulation 3, where it says about notification of generation of schedule waste. So we has the waste generator. WG is waste generator, boleh faham because I might be using those terminology quite often. After this, kita kena notify within 30 days from the date that any schedule waste was first generated. So, question to the team again, question to everyone. How do y'all or when do you all register or submit your monthly schedule waste generation? Is it starting of the month ke ending of the month? End of the month. Very good. Kenapa bukan starting of the month? Atau 2 weeks once korang buat? Means midweek pun buat and then the fourth week pun boleh buat. Malas nak login 2 kali ke? Are you all lazy to login? Ingatkan boleh sekali je. The thing is, I'm not very sure about the version 2.0, but the version 1.0 actually had amendment. You can actually tambah, you had addition schedule waste every month. So in case if you already done it second week, then you boleh tambah addition and then end of the month. That's how I used to do it. I don't know about the current practice or the version 2.0. Okay, got it. Yes, Mr. Zulkafar, understood. If the schedule is going into schedule waste store, please, then we will update it. Okay. Oh, yes, good, good. Also, thanks, Ms. Ragini. You actually messaged. I just saw the schedule waste quotes earlier. I think your question was difference between SW 417 and 418, right? So I saw SW 417 is actually talking about the balance or maybe just waste of liquor or paint. Meaning to say, bila dah guna pakai paint, any paint, right, bucket, and then there's a bit more left, and then we different color kita campur, kita semua jadi chemist. Okay, that's your SW 417. But SW 418 is talking about discarded or off spec, meaning to say this is your manufacturers. I understood from that point of view, manufacturers that have discard or maybe the color a bit cacat ke, not the exact quality that they needed, that will be SW 418. I hope you understood what I was saying. Ken? Okay. If you have any more questions, you can ask after the class as well, or maybe once we have done this, Ken. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Regulation 4 talks about disposal of scheduled waste, where we have to only dispose as prescribed permits only. Question to everyone: can you okay, for Ipoh a bit hard lah. I can reply for the Ipoh people, but from other states, because I think today is everyone rambak and is everywhere, everywhere from different states. Is it easy to find your own waste collector from your own city or your own state? Or do you need to borrow from another city or another state? No. Okay, I think in Selangor, yes, everything there, one-stop destination. But I thought Selangor also have to go to Quality Alam. That's borrowing other people's facility juga. Yes, Miss Alina, you have Perak got quite a number of you kena pergi collect. You boleh collect waste collect. You can actually gather the information on your eSwiss actually. Yeah, you can actually go on your eSwiss. Some of them tak respond. I'm so sorry, Miss Sohaila. The one you need to call them to respond. Okay. Yeah. So for Perak, some of it is a bit hard. We might have to borrow other facility juga daripada negeri lain. Sometimes because of pricing issue pun akan jadi issue to the management. So that's why kena quotation lah, ABMS lah, anti-bribery management system lah, all of this will come into play. So we have to do comparison of pricing, blah blah blah. Then we eventually will have to take another state punya help and come in this one. in a way, it's good because your own state is not dirty or not polluted. Okay. Regulation 5, you can see treatment of scheduled waste. Okay. Treatment of scheduled waste, treat as prescribed premises only. Residue after treatment shall be disposed at prescribed premises only as well. Regulation 6 talks about recovery of material, all products from scheduled waste. So sometimes maybe a byproduct can actually come up from your product or from your scheduled waste. Okay, recovery of materials can be only done at prescribed premises only. Some kita punya waste collector, dia akan, how do I say, ambil kita punya product, maybe dia cuci bersihkan ke apa ke. For an example, I think like SW410, contaminated rags atau contaminated cloth, especially gloves. I've seen mereka akan cuci sampai like bersih, maybe put a bit of bleach ke apa ke, and then maybe dia akan jual kepada a cheaper cloth industry, maybe to make like floor mat lah, you know, in the industries kita ada, you know, those kind of handkerchiefs that we use to wipe kita punya overspill or either absorbent, it can be used as that. So in a way, it's a byproduct to another company or business to another company as well. Okay, Regulation 7. And then talks about application of special management of scheduled waste. So scheduled waste to be excluded from treated, recovered, or disposed at prescribed shall be obtained approval for special management. So this is more complicated. This particular regulation 7, I remember learning this in my competency class. Okay, this one, in case you need to send your scheduled waste dekat luar, out of the country, then you'll have to go through another route of a whole new regulation you need to be subjected to lah. Okay, Regulation 8 talks about responsibility of waste generator. So kita sebagai waste generator punya responsibility apa? It has to be stored properly, treated properly, recovered in a proper manner, labeled properly too. Okay, jangan lupa jika tak label dengan betul, 2,000 saman. Okay, terma dekat kita punya government. And scheduled waste should be packed, transported, and labeled properly according to the prescribed guidelines. Okay, any questions so far? Are you all with me so far? Boleh?
Boleh?
Boleh. Okay, perfect. So regulation 8 talks about packaging. Okay, so macam mana proper packaging? So dekat sini ada ke letak dalam kotak saja atau letak dalam plastic bag, pillion ke, plastic bag, paksen ke, guna biodegradable punya plastik ke? Ingatkan nak safe environment. Alright, packaging tu memang wajib ada pallet di bawah ke? Okay, this one actually more on the transportation. If your transporter atau you punya waste collector inginkan pallet, you will have to provide, because at the end mereka ambil you guys punya schedule waste. But to me, I feel it's not really necessary if you letak dekat pallet lah. But then it's easier for transportation, maybe load to unload dalam dia punya lorry besar tu. So that's why mereka letak atas pallet. Okay, kau susah untuk mereka nak angkat, ergonomic issue pula lepas tu. Okay, only Trump or Carboy or IBC, you don't use biodegradable plastic. Okay, please do follow the packaging guideline. Okay, online, you can actually obtain that free of charge, download it. The reason is because some companies have seen mereka guna biodegradable punya plastic, and then mereka nak, bila nak angkat untuk letak dalam waste collector punya lorry ke, dia akan hancur. Because you know, biodegradable very fast, dia akan, you know, it will react with the environment and then it will just tear. You can just literally tear the plastic, and then the whole, whatever their schedule is, akan macam just drop down. So best is use what's appropriate, okay, what's mentioned in our lines, okay. Make sure it's leak proof, very important, because we don't want any spill to happen, okay. Not corrosive, okay. Container shall be always be closed tight, okay, the lid, okay, and robust to withstand transportation, meaning to say it has to withstand proper movement, because sometimes we know most of our lorry drivers, they, you know, they don't really drive smartly or effectively on the road, so it has to at least avoid any spill lah, okay. Regulation 9. Can we use guni for used rags and gloves? Okay, Miss Elena, very good question. The thing is, we have already gotten the guideline from the government. If you can avoid getting guni, maybe boleh dapat itu jumbo bag. Jumbo bag lebih banyak dia punya space. and then you can keep it for 6 months. Guni tu takut dia akan cepat sangat akan fill up. And again, if to me everything better ask your waste collector. If your waste collector boleh je angkut ambil semua, then it's good. If they got problem with your packaging, then they won't, come back to you often. So best is you can actually 1 kg per month, so little. Oh, maybe you can actually use what do you call that? Corrugated boxes as well. You can maybe pack it individually and nicely. Maybe you can use corrugated boxes and then wrap it. Jadi macam Shopee punya packaging, then you can put that fragile. Yeah. All right. Okay. And either open top drum. Yeah, that's also a good suggestion. Yeah, you can open top drum and then you can just cover it with plastic on top. Up to you actually, because it's only 1 kg. Okay, yeah. Normally cotton rag guna untuk oil, yeah. Okay, regulation 9, storage of scheduled waste. Stored in appropriate containers placed in safe designated area. Okay, question to the team. I mean to everyone in class. Have you all been ditegur oleh DOE regarding you punya scheduled waste punya store? Pernah ke dia cakap, oh scheduled waste store you sangat kecil? Ada ke? Pernah. And then what's your answer? Tak ada tempat ke nak extend? Mereka pernah cakap ke dia punya answer congested, belum kena lagi, or we improvise it, so nice lah you, Miss Ragini. Okay, good lah, Puan Sohaila. Okay. Propose to management to make it proper. Okay, alright, so you tendang balik dekat management lah, ha? But kita orang tengah, normally kita yang kena sandwich kan, daripada management dengan DOE, kita yang kena tekan.
Betul.
Alright, so that's it lah, huh? Okay, so best is if before you can actually how do I say build a storage for your schedule waste or store, try to read the guidelines. I think most of you all are aware it should be at least 125 times bigger than your, 125 times boleh tampung you punya biggest IBC tank or your biggest container in that particular store. Okay, because we scared that in case that your biggest container tiba-tiba tertuang ke atau tiba-tiba ada spill that happens, then you cannot contain it. Itu sebab some companies, they ada oil trap, they have like something like a drain so that everything is contained within the schedule waste store. Okay. All right. Next one. Storage should be only 180 days, huh? You all are aware right now, okay? Ingat, 180 days is 6 months. Okay, so in a year, roughly you can estimate lah, twice lah disposal. Best time when I used to do was actually every time I clear 1 day or 2 days before kita punya internal audit atau kita punya external audit by ISO, for ISO. So best is that you have zero, schedule waste. If not, they'll come and question you, oh kenapa label macam ini, itu macam ini, blah blah blah. Then instead of issuing an NCR, DOE pun akan kena saman. So best is just to clear it all. Okay, regulation 10. Yes, Mr. Hafiz, I'll go deeper later on regarding the storage. Okay. Yeah, not more than 20 metric ton within that. It's either one lah, whether 180 days cukup ke atau not more than 20 metric ton. Okay. And lastly, regulation 10, labeling of schedule waste container shall be labeled clearly as specified in third schedule. Okay, and the quotes are in the first schedule. So have you all seen your third schedule? Pernah ke? Tak pernah? Atau main tembak je apa label yang saya suka, hari ni saya suka ini, saya akan letak ini, esok saya suka yang tengkorak punya, saya letak yang tengkorak punya. Atau pernah kena tegur daripada DOE juga? Oh, none of you all tak pernah kena tegur? Interesting. Bagusnya korang semua. So good in your schedule waste management. Okay, that's interesting. Yes, it's a bit hard. Oh, yes, correct, correct. There used to be actually the book, right? Yeah, now DOE doesn't actually give it also. Yeah. I remember snapping picture from a DOE officer. I just took the important schedules that I initially had in my company, and then I started snapping, and based on that, I started doing. Yeah, now it's a bit hard to find that book. I also have realized that. Yeah, we all need the book. We all need it. I agree. Okay. Okay. Next one. Regulation 11, transport of schedule must be accompanied by the information. Okay, so how many of you all actually have done in-house your own 7 schedule, your waste card? Pernah buat sendiri ke? Susah ke nak buat? To me, it's a bit of a pain lah, huh? Pening kepala sedikit ada juga. Because you have to do your flash point lah, boiling point lah, properties lah, all those. Have you all done it before? Copy from internet. Is it valid? Is it valid? Macam tak valid je. Waste card. But good lah, at least you copied from the internet. Back then for me, it was so hard to even get. Okay, some you can actually copy from the internet, no doubt lah. But some like, SW104, such as the aluminium drawers, it's a bit hard to find it online. So you have to actually do it from scratch. Yes. Tak pernah buat. Okay, can ask the lab analysis to provide VC. Yes, that's the reason actually why you actually sent your chemical or whatever of the schedule waste to your lab, because you want to get the characteristics of your waste. Then from there you can actually somehow create your waste card. Okay, thank you, Ms. Ragini, for saying that you have to do the from migration version 1 to version 2. Interesting. Okay, and then talking about regulation 12, it talks about information to be provided to WG. Okay, how many of you all actually like to do consignment note? To me, this is actually the biggest pain. If you ask me why, because right, to release satu consignment note, the amount of approval you need to get, some companies they are a bit strict. Okay, daripada you punya weighing bridge kena dapat satu ticket, pergi dekat finance approve, and then pergi dekat dia punya guardhouse baru approve. Sebelum nak release kena pergi store dulu to make sure store mereka tak ambil barang apa-apa, itu sampah saja. So imagine how much of hassle, of work you have to do just to throw your schedule waste in a proper manner. Have you all experienced this before? Atau saya punya company yang lama saja macam tu? Or you all senang-senang boleh buang schedule waste? Yes, I feel you. So those who are in the shoes, like I said, we are being sandwiched between top management and the authorities. So we are all on the same boat. Okay. All right. Information to be provided. Okay. So consignment note, one of it. Okay. I used to actually slow talk with my waste collector. I used to tell them, I only will do and generate the consignment note. You don't need to. I don't need to print out. I will do everything, and I'll send you an like a consignment note. So I don't have to print out for you, because sometimes, right, the problem is when the waste collector timbang balik apa yang you keluarkan daripada you punya premise, dia tak tally. That's the problem. If it's not tally, it will be a problem. I don't know how many of you have experienced this before, because pernah sekali or 2 kali, the weigh bridge ticket from my company showed maybe like 2 ton, and then the waste collector one was 1.9 ton. So there's like 100 kg difference, betul? So that will actually vary. Government will be like, oh, where that 100 kg went away. Okay, mereka akan maybe assume dia sudah buang dekat tempat lain ke apa. So initially when I first did my consignment note, ditendang balik oleh saya punya waste collector, and then she asked me to redo it again. So always I will wait for my schedule waste to go to the premise first, timbang baru saya akan buat this one. I don't know if this practice is betul ke tak, but because I wanted to do one time, because if e-consignment note you do it wrongly, it takes a bit of time, and we know how you draft it first. Okay, good, that's good. In a way, that's good. Because before this, if I'm not mistaken, version 1.0 didn't have draft. Maybe now version 2.0 has draft. I'm not very sure. Okay, so in a way, that's good. You're actually practicing the right way. Okay, don't be like me lah, huh? Okay, and waste generator shall submit within 30 days from the date of transportation. So in a way, you actually have a buffer, 30 days. Okay, just jangan lebih daripada 30 hari. And waste receiver shall submit the information received with the waste within 20 days. That's why itu waste receiver selalu push kita orang. Because we have a 13 days limit and they only got 20 days. Okay. All right, so far? Are y'all okay? Still with me? Ken? Okay, maybe another 8 more minutes, we will take a break, okay? And then we will play our Kahoot, can Okay, Regulation 13 talks about transport of scheduled waste must be accompanied by the information. So one thing that they have to have is their consignment note, and second is your waste card lah, schedule 7. Okay, so 6th schedule is your consignment note, 7th is your waste card. Okay, and then to transport, the schedule waste must obtain the approval. So prior to any schedule waste from any waste generator, the waste receiver must obtain a written approval from DOE by using the TWG form. Okay, this TWG form actually normally you will submit before your waste collector akan ambil. I think the practice is still the same. Here, already submit one time because again you're going to use them as always your same contractor or your vendor. Okay, and Regulation 40 talks about spill or accidental discharge. So this happens if you need the authorities, and if they come and ambush your place, if they find out there's any spill or accidental discharge, the contractor is responsible to inform the authority. This is more focusing on your transporters. Okay, normally mishandling akan berlaku bila mereka dekat atas jalan raya, spill atau accidental discharge boleh happen. So that's why if you see behind mereka punya lorry, akan ada dia punya schedule waste punya codes that they carry. I don't know how many of you all actually noticed that. Okay, you can see there's a schedule waste code there, and then they will also tell you if anything happens, please contact Jabatan Alam Sekitar or their company's number, their hotline number. Okay. All right, are you all with me still? Boleh?
Boleh?
Okay, perfect. So Regulation 15, okay, talks about conduct training to be provided to your waste generator to all employees. Okay, so this is where question akan ditanya. Kenapa only competent person kena in charge of scheduled waste? Oh, not about other employees. Okay, other employees also should be aware. Okay, waste generators, all of us are waste generators. We all should be aware of our scheduled waste. Okay, dekat kita punya regulation tak bagi tahu how often. Okay, if example like chemical under USAC regulation ada mention at least 2 years once, but dekat conduct training for regulation 15 under schedule waste tak bagi tahu. So up to the company how often they want to do it, but it's best if you can do yearly or maybe 2 years once as a refresher course. And regulation 16 talks about compounding of defenses. Okay, all right, maximum not less than 22,000 ringgit. Okay, but this is only just for the label lah. Okay, so if your one label is not properly done properly, or your schedule waste is not properly labeled or not packed properly, your maximum fine will be 2K. How many of you all actually gotten someone before? If you all don't mind sharing, pernah ke dapat saman daripada DOE? Satu tong tak label properly, 2K maximum fine. Anybody? Atau semua orang bagus je? Takut bonus ditolak. Last warning, oh my God. Mr. Hafiz, do you mind talking and telling us your experience? I would want to know what happened to you until sampai dapat last warning. Oh my God, Miss Ragini, you also? Pernah? Okay, not bad. He can speak if you want to. Encik Hafiz, you boleh cakap jika you nak. You boleh unmute and you can bagi tahu kenapa dapat last warning tiba-tiba. Oh, okay. Do not put the top hole. Okay. We mistakenly kept a different code under a different signage. Okay, yeah, that happens often. Understood. Most of the time actually is regarding mislabel, one thing, atau tak tutup dengan elok. Okay. Label always kena lah. Saya pun pernah kena amaran. Saya punya label tu not more than 10 cm. I don't know how many of you all pernah kena yang tu. Dia punya label of your your label was not more than, the diamond shape was not more than 10 cm. Yes, the pictogram, correct, the pictogram of it, correct. Okay. Okay, all right, so we'll take a break right now up to 3:40. Okay, and after that we will do our Kahoot. So don't forget the Kahoot actually has interesting prize. If you win top 3, you get an e-voucher. Okay, and the one Mr. Shafiq will explain further. All right, so we'll take a break now for another 15 minutes. So I'll see you all at 3:40, boleh? Okay, thank you very much.